Hey guys, this is going to be a short tutorial on answering majority element range queries. So we will be solving this problem on Spoj. The link to it is in the description. You should now go ahead and read this problem once on your own. Before we proceed, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 80% of my viewers haven't subscribed, and press the bell icon to stay notified about future uploads. So in this problem, we're basically told that the majority element is an element that occurs at least n over 2, the floor of that, plus 1 times in an array of n elements. And we have to answer range queries where we have to find the majority element if it exists, or we have to report that it doesn't exist. For now, let's consider this algorithm, which in an array of n integers takes two non-equal elements and cancels them out, and it could take any two non-equal elements, and it does that until there are no non-equal elements remaining. For example, it could go like this, or it could do something else. But this array didn't have a majority. Now let's look at an array which does have a majority element. So this is a random array which has a majority element, and the majority element is 1. Let's see what happens if we run that algorithm on this array. So in the worst case, you can see that we'll cancel out other elements with copies of the majority element. But we know that the majority element occurs at least n over 2 plus 1 times. And that means that other elements occur less than n over 2 times. This is because the array can only have one majority element. This also means that we will end up with one or more copies of the majority element if we run this algorithm on the array. And the great thing about this is that we could do this inside a segment tree. And because of that, we can also answer range queries in logarithmic time. Now let's see how we can use a segment tree to do this. So I've drawn a segment tree here where each node stores two values. One is a possible candidate for the majority in that subtree, and the other is how many copies of it we have. So initially the leaf nodes store the initial array elements with a delta of 1 because we have one copy of all of those elements. Then this is our algorithm for merging two nodes. If the candidates are equal, we can't cancel out any elements, so we have to add their copies. So we add their deltas. Now if they're different, we take the element which has a larger number of copies and cancel out the element which has a less number of copies. So we basically keep the candidate with the larger number of copies while subtracting out the delta of the other candidate. Now if they have the same delta, then the resulting delta becomes 0 and we can take any candidate, it doesn't matter. So I've already drawn this segment tree. You can go ahead and verify if everything's correct. Now let's see how we answer queries. So we have a query from 1 to 2. And that is just basically this node. We see that it says 2 is the candidate with a delta of 0. Now our delta doesn't really matter, but we have to verify if this is actually the majority element. The segment tree can only give us a candidate, and that's because let me draw that example again. And for example, if we did if we cancel out elements like that, we could be left with these two copies of 3. And you can clearly see that 3 isn't the majority element. So if there is a majority element, we are guaranteed to get that as a possible candidate. But if there isn't, then we could get any random number. So we have to actually check if the number that we got is a majority element. So it says the candidate for the range 1 to 2 is 2. We could easily check that. What we do is for each position, we maintain a vector of indices where it occurs. For example, in the range 1 to 2, our candidate was 2. and it occurs at index 2. So initially in all of the vectors for these elements, we push a -1 or 0 depending on your indexing. Then we first find the last occurrence of that candidate inside the range, and then we find the closest occurrence of it outside the range using binary search, lower bound, upper bound functions. Then we can do some subtraction and figure its actual frequency out in that range. This will get clearer when we look at the code for it. Now let's proceed with our queries. We have 1, 2, 3, which is basically this node and that node. Now we perform the same merge over here while querying as well. So we are left with one with a frequency of 1, and the range was 1, 2, 3. We see that 1 is indeed the majority element, and we print yes with 1. I'm not going to do all of these queries, you can do some of them yourself, but let's jump to these two, 2 to 5 and 2 to 6. So 2 to 5 will be covered by the nodes 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and 4 to 5. And let's just merge them in arbitrary order. So we get 2, 0 by merging these two, and if we merge them with 1, 0, we still have 2, 0. And now let's check the majority element in that range. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. We can see that this range does not have a majority element, so we print no. And the answer for that should be no. So the answer for that is no. Now let's take a look at 2, 6. It's again this range, but with this additional element. So we could again do merge them in random order. For example, I could merge these two and I could get 2, 1. Then I could merge these two and then I could get 1, 0. But 2 has a greater delta. So I subtract the delta of the other candidate from it, which is 0. It remains 1. And we have 2, 1 over here. Now let's take a look at the majority element for this range, 2 to 6. We can see that 2 is actually the majority element for this range. So this is how you can use a segment tree to answer majority element queries. Alright, let's finally look at some code for this. So this code solves the problem that I initially opened on Spoj. And the link to this will be in the description of the video along with the problem statement. So this is basically my segment tree, which stores a pair of two values. The first value is the candidate and the second value is the delta. And this is my merge function. So if the candidates are equal, we just add up their copies. If the first candidate has a greater delta than the second candidate, then we subtract the delta of the second candidate and return the first candidate with that. Otherwise, we do that for the second candidate. This is just a function to build the segment tree, and initially we say that every element has one copy. After that, our query uses the same merge function, and this is just a standard query function for a segment tree. So this is how we actually find out the count of elements in a range. So initially I make an array of vectors and I push -1 into them because I'm using zero-based indexing. And after I take input for each element, I store its indices. I built the segment tree, I take in my query. Then this is the candidate for this query. If my candidate is less than 0, so in my query function, I return -1 if we don't have something, if it's out of bounds. So if it's less than 0, we already know that this segment doesn't have a majority. Otherwise, we first get the position of the element closest to the left of our query range and the rightmost occurrence of it inside our query range. And then we could just subtract those indices and find out the number of occurrences of this element. And now we can just check if it's the majority element and print yes with the candidate. Otherwise we can print no. Thanks for watching and I hope you learned something new today.